just anything more alcohol related. At the time, I had a fairly lucrative job with the steel industry. So what I was doing was working all overtime I could, using the overtime as my AA. And I went close to 3 years like that, but I was frequenting the bars. I liked the nightlife, but I wasn't drinking alcohol at the time. It just going in, drinking little juices and having the dances, whatever transpired in nightlife. But I enjoyed that. But I had here, and every day I was getting just a little bigger chip on my shoulder. And one morning, it was close to 3 years later, inexplicably, I just woke up.
This is Rock Bottom with Ryan. No sugarcoating, no filters. The pain, the chaos, the truth. No bullshit. Just recovery.
All right, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom with Ryan. We're doing a little in-person guest today. We got Minnesota Mike, one of my close friends that I know from my meetings and that we see each other every day. We go to the meeting at noon every single day together, and we're just buddies. We watch football, and I wanted him to come in and share his story in person today because I've shown him on Instagram and on social media before, and I'm sure people are curious to hear more about his story. And he's 43 years sober, Mike?
4-3, going on 4-3, Brian. Yes, sir.
43 years sober. So, I mean, he has a lot more experience than a lot of us out there. So I figured he could share a little bit about his story. So Mike, when did you start drinking, and what was your childhood like, and why did you start drinking?
Okay, well, I tell you, Ryan, first off, I want to say howdy and happy holidays, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Let's see. We got to go back a few years. I would imagine my heavier drinking was kind of in my formative years at the high school parties. And then from then on, it just got carried away for almost 30 years.
Okay, so when did it become, say, a problem for you?
Probably during my marital years. I was working pretty many jobs, and I was taking a beer or two to relax. Well, pretty soon that's all I was doing, relaxing. I didn't know the problem that I actually had with the alcohol. All I know is I really didn't care for the taste of it, or be truthful with you. I was just kind of firing for effect. Anyway, I got carried away for, like I say, 30-some years, and just everything went kaput.
Yep. So how many times have you been married?
Twice.
Okay. And how do you think, were you primarily the only one drinking in those relationships?
Well, everybody else were moderate drinkers, if you want to call them moderate.
Normal
but
drinkers?
yeah, I was always kind of the last dog hung at the party, and I wondered where everybody went and what seemed to be their problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe going to bed on the same day you got up.
Yeah. So I get it. So when did drinking ever lead to any like arrests, like DUIs, anything like that?
Yeah, so I was in continuous problem. I'll be truthful with you, Ryan. It got to the point where I was almost institutionalized. I got along good in jail. And anyway, there was a point in time where I thought that making it up to the trustee block in itself was the epitome of life. I mean, that's how twisted my mind was.
Really? How many years do you think you spent behind bars then?
Well, I drank for 30 years. I don't know. I never got any. I skated pretty often on, any big time, but I'd get a year here, 6 months there, 30 days here and there. It was close to 50%. 30 some years.
Wow.
At least once a week, maybe not every minute in incarcerated, but in a heck of a jam. If I wasn't incarcerated, the judge kind of threatened me with it.
And most of those were drinking related charges, or did you get in fights or what?
Just anything alcohol. Excuse me, the old excuse me, Jekyll and Hyde personality.
Yeah.
No fear of consequence whatsoever. Personally, when I was drinking, pardon my, I'm losing my vernacular here.
Yeah.
Everything was spontaneous. That's the word I was trying to find. Spontaneous. Win, lose, or draw, no fear of consequence. So I took my lumps, and I learned quite early I could take a punch. But I'd get a few in there too. But I mean, as far as it went, but it would usually break down into something, and there'd be some misdemeanor or maybe gross negligent, breaking stuff, wrecking stuff, public nuisance.
So after being incarcerated that long, did you get sober in jail or after being in jail or?
Well, after I'll be truthful, Ryan. The jail in itself didn't bother me. I was getting arrest. I didn't drink in the jail naturally, but I was just getting arrested and basically planning my next move when I got out.
Okay. Did you ever have any issues with any other drugs besides alcohol?
Not really.
No.
Not really. It was mainly alcohol. And like I reiterate to you, I really didn't care for the taste of this stuff, be very truthful with you. But I was firing for effect.
Oh, okay. Did what people in your life, say kids and others, friends, were a lot of people pushing you to get sober?
Yes, and I didn't realize it at the time. I thought they were just interfering, Ryan. They didn't condone my way of life. I'll put it, lay it right on you right now. I lost literally everybody that I might have cared for or may have cared for me along the way. And at the end of 30 years, basically, I was alone, and I guarantee you, lonely was more than a state of mind, but I had lost everything along the way, except my job.
Okay. What do you think you lost along the way? Like your relationships with your.
Relationship, parents, 2 families, wives. I had 5 children of my own, and I married into a mother with 3 and anyway, at the end of the line, I was alone. Let's put it that way. They had a belly full of me for sure.
Okay.
And what had happened, then my health gave out suddenly, and I was hospitalized, emergency like, but that's where I figured, like, well, lonely was more than a state of mind.
Okay. So was a lot of your drinking alone or was it socially at bars?
It didn't really matter. It depended upon my mood. Usually I'd maybe drink at home a little cheaper, if you want to call it that, but then kind of getting ready for the night's festivities.
Okay. So what were you drinking? Hard liquor or beer, or how much were you drinking?
I actually my MO on it would basically start out with a few beers.
Okay.
And then work my way up to whatever, Jack Daniels, whatever is on hand. And,
Yeah.
hard liquor, usually I'd wind up, and that was the end of the line for me. And, a lot of blackouts, a lot of wake up in jail, how'd I get here? Where's my car? That type of thing.
Okay. So when was like the last time you ever had a drink, and why did you quit? What was your reason?
Excuse me. I guess what I'm trying to say here, I had got myself in a real pickle, and the judge had told me anything more alcohol related, and he was about to throw away the key. And I knew this judge, and he kind of meant what he said, but he did not mention going to any kind of treatment or anything. He just said anything more alcohol related. At the time, I had a fairly lucrative job with the steel industry. So what I was doing was working all overtime I could, using the overtime as my AA. And I went close to 3 years like that, but I was frequenting the bars. I liked the nightlife, but I wasn't drinking alcohol at the time. It just going in, drinking little juices and having the dances, whatever transpired in nightlife. But I enjoyed that. But I had here, and every day I was getting just a little bigger chip on my shoulder. And one morning, it was close to 3 years later, inexplicably, I just woke up. I remember it was on a Sunday, third Sunday in September of 1983. I woke up in a motel, suited up, grabbed my checkbook, and I was gone. And they scraped me up about 6 weeks later.
Wow. What happened 6 weeks later?
I was a sick boy laying in the gutter. Almost, I think it was in the gutter, flat ass broke, pardon my language, and then hospitalized in critical condition. They said anything more. I don't know exactly how long I was in the hospital. Excuse me. I know when I came around and I could talk coherently and understand what they were saying. They said anything more alcohol related, pal, and then you're doomed. So you better find a way to curb it. And they suggested AA.
And you were about 46 years old?
Yes. See, I've been sober 43, and good math.
All right. That's a long time.
I'm
That's
89,
so that's almost
yeah.
half your life almost you've been sober.
Exactly. And I wouldn't trade, like I say, one of my worst days sober for my best days drinking.
Yeah. So you don't miss it at all. And what steps did you take after you got out of the hospital and you started to feel better? What did you do to start staying sober?
Well, I went to rehab. I thought of some programs that I turned my back on through the years. And, I was kind of fearful. I guess my line of thinking, if I can carry on like this, if I may, it was I was fearful, not so much as maybe looking at a guy 6'10" or that kind of fear. I was fear that I couldn't cut the mustard, a new way of life.
Yeah.
I had been my way, for 30 years, and it just fizzled terribly. But that was the only way I knew. It was like pulling the carpet on me on Friday and starting a new life on Monday. And I was very fearful that I could not cut the mustard, so to speak.
What were some of the things that started to improve? Did you start to get better relationships, start to be able to save money? How did that work?
Yes. Well, like I say, I must have done a fair job when I was at work. Attendance was terrible, but I always respected that. I worked in a mining industry, and if I was to cause some harm out there through my drinking, I'll be very truthful, those guys could and would retaliate in a hurry. So I respected my my working partners and that type of thing. But getting there was something bad. So I had I was in the steel industry, like I said, and steel workers, I had wonderful people in the rehab end of it there that went to bat for me and saved my job. They sent me to some rehab there for a while that I took serious. And so that got me on the right track.
Okay. So when did you decide to move from Minneapolis or Minnesota to Idaho, and why?
Well, I had, down LC Valley in the Idaho-Washington border. My dad had moved down here. And anyway, I had, 5 sisters and a brother down here that I hadn't seen for a while. And so, well, very, very cold up there, and I'm getting bored up there. And I was, had the opportunity to come down to the LC Valley, a change of pace. And so why not, And so I was in fair shape. I think I came down here when I was 79 years old when I come down to the LC Valley, which was a good move in my book. And so, but like I said, I did have 5 siblings that were interested in my welfare. And so we've been doing pretty well ever since. I consider a minor miracle. It been staying pretty busy with the music part and food and just life in general, and not and a lot of hearty laughs and that type of thing, and not one drop of alcohol involved.
Did you ever have any moments of weakness where you thought about drinking?
Well, the thoughts would come lots, but I use the past and I would not as a crutch. Don't do that again, pal. Well, I'm talking to myself, see? And, but I would not, I'd think about it just about every day, but I would not dwell on it. That would be suicide.
So what are some of the healthy ways that you try to stay busy? Like you said, music's one of the ways you stay busy?
Yes, excuse me, a little bit of entertainment, like this, sing and play guitar and stuff, and a lot of croaky. I'd go around but I had been to different organizations that tried to curtail your drinking, and give, like I was telling my buddy Ryan here, as I'm sitting here today, I can't think of one good reason to drink.
That's good.
But the reasons not to drink are infinitesimal.
Okay. Yep. There's more reasons to not drink just because we see how better our lives have become since quitting. And it seems like you have good friendships with people. You have the right support around you. You go to meetings every day. So
correct. And it just, it's nice to be honest for a change and level with people, and not looking over my shoulder every second, so to speak. And it's just a better way of life. It's like a 359-degree circle. I always leave 1% for improvement.
it's good. So what advice would you give to people that are newly sober or going into recovery or thinking about quitting? Because you quit at age 46. There's a lot of people that probably want to quit. What advice would you give?
I didn't quite believe in it at first. I didn't know another way of life other than the drinking end of it, and the incarceration and all that stuff. The guy's mind is pretty warped at that stage. But all I can suggest is patience. Like in my case, I didn't get messed up overnight. It took me 30 some years to get messed up and lose it all. So a guy's not going to get that well right away. But I'm definitely into the day-by-day situation. Get back to the higher power, if you will. And, excuse me. Like I say, 40-some years, that's a nice run. I think it is. But I'm into that day-by-day situation, and I had a great time last night. Today's a good day, being with my buddy Ryan and talking to you folks. And tomorrow's out of sight. But I do have a choice each day of which way to go, which side of the tracks to go on, and I find it's best to stay on the right side of the track. And up to this point, like I say, it's going on 43 years, and it's worked great. But it's that's the old day-by-day situation. It's a lot of day-by-days, but by golly, they accumulated to close to 43 years, so.
Yeah.
Something's working.
That's awesome. It's a big deal. No, I've noticed you have a good sense of humor and you bring a lot of lightheartedness into your recovery. Have you always been that way, even when you were drinking?
Pretty much, stay on the sunny side, so you speak. I always think, I'm not like the optimist. One guy will say, well, geez, I only got a half a tank of gas.
Yeah.
But I guess I've been the type to say, whoa, I got a half a tank left. So that kind of perspective on things. It's helped me a lot, trust me.
Good. I like that. So, are you excited for the holiday season to spend it sober?
Yes. I think, just mentioning that, I think of how many years and times, just innumerable, that I would ruin with the drinking aspect of it for the wives and children. So, but yes, and it's very, very nice to get back to the rudiment of what Christmas is about, and with no alcohol or drinking involved on my part, because let's face it, I can't handle them.
That's good. That's good. So, it seems like you're feeling pretty good these days, even at almost 90 years old. Do you think you would have made it this far without that much sobriety?
No, like I say, give the good Lord gratitude each morning. Every morning I hit the deck, and I just can't thank him enough. So that's why I try to do my best. I'm just on a daily reprieve, so to speak. And so each day that goes by is a blessing, a true blessing.
Good. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and talking a little bit about your story. We'll have to have you back on again sometime. But really appreciate you supporting Rock Bottom with Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, it's been my pleasure, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rock Bottom with Ryan. No bullshit, just recovery.